Alright, in this video I'm finally getting around to mounting my television on the wall. I'm using this Sanus wall mount, and it's good for TVs from 42 to 90 inches. Now you can see the previous owner had installed these plates to hide the USB cables and power cords, so they come up higher on the wall, which is good, and those are also made by Sanus, and I'll put some links in the description. So I've got my TV here. It is a Samsung TV. So just doing a quick look at the box. Obviously you get some instructions, but the instructions are pretty easy, so whether you use that or not, it's up to you. You have this template, which I didn't use, but it also has the instructions printed on the template. You have the left and right mounts for the TV. You have 4 leg bolts to screw into the 2x4 studs in your wall. They give you a whole bunch of screws and nylon spacers, and that's so you can select the ones for your TV. So initially I didn't want to go this high because it covers the outlet that the previous owners had put in the wall, and I wanted to go just below it. So you use the app for the TV mount to determine the height. Because the TV is concave on the back, you need the longer nylon spacer, and then you just need to select the appropriate screw. You don't want your screw too long, or it's going to start putting pressure on the screen or backside of the television. That's not what you want, and obviously a short one won't work because it won't reach the threads. So at the top of the TV, like I said, I've used the longer spacers, and then at the bottom of the TV I just used the 2 short spacers, and you'll just have to play around and get the right combination for your television setup. So with the rack not on the wall, that's how everything sort of clips together. So I've already measured the television and where I want it to go based on the Sanus app, and you can see I've put some measurements on the wall as well to indicate the height. Now I didn't videotape me putting little holes in the wall, but I just took the smallest drill bit I had, found out where the stud was, and you can see me mark the left and right hand side of the stud, and then mark the center of the stud as well. And I've done that for both studs and top and bottom for the mounting bolts. For this, the socket is a 1/2 inch socket, and I found it easiest to put in one and then line everything else up, make sure it's level, and then put in the second one. And of course, when you're doing this, you should have a level handy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be pretty good, otherwise you will notice it. For each of them, I do drill a pilot hole, not just through the drywall, but also right into the wood stud behind. And again, use the socket to drive in the lag bolt. And then of course do the one last lag bolt in the top right corner. Now you probably could use drywall anchors for these, but just because your TV is so expensive, I wouldn't recommend using drywall anchors. And I did have some difficulty feeding the HDMI cables back through there, so I just used a short piece of electrical wire because it's a little bit stiffer, and use that as a guide to feed the HDMI cables through. So I actually really like these Sanus wall plate covers. It's pretty easy to use, and it actually really holds the wall plate, that large wall plate, in place very well. Now like I said, I used the Sanus app to get the TV height, and I did not like this height. I found it was too low, and I wish I never used the Sanus app and actually just went higher to begin with. So I'm going to take that off the wall and fix it. The old top holes are actually going to become the new bottom holes, and to get over the fact that there's a wall plate, I'm going to use these 2 washers, and that'll give me enough standoff from the wall so that the actual TV rack doesn't touch the wall plate behind it. So same as before, I'm going to drill pilot holes, I'm going to put the 2 washers behind, and then I'm going to put in the lag bolts. Obviously for the bottom 2 lag bolts, I'm just using the 2 that were previously at the top, so I didn't have to re-drill those. I do, on the other hand, have to fix the drywall from the 2 old lag bolt bolts that were on the bottom. And again, in the top, put in the 2 washers so that the actual TV rack doesn't touch the wall plate. And you can see I've got just a little bit of space, and this is important because if it was touching the wall plate, it would start to flex and the TV might not sit properly. So there's the TV mounted up, and I'm much happier with the height the second time I put it up. Overall, I found the Sanus wall-mounted TV rack very easy to install, and I would recommend it to anyone. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video, and don't forget to like and subscribe.